What if you're wasting your potential? I know, scary, big thing. Potential is super subjective, and I don't mean the pressure to do what everybody else wants you to do. I'm actually talking about reaching our potential, which is part of the definition of living a mentally healthy life. And it's one of the regrets of the dying when people look back on their life and they say, hey, I wish I took more risks. I wish I told people I love them. I wish I did what I really wanted to do instead of what other people told me to do. So here's 3 signs that you might be wasting your potential, and then of course, crucially, what to do about it. Number 1, your life looks good on the outside. It looks good, but it doesn't feel quite right for you. And maybe you can't quite put your finger on it, but you're sort of playing a role. You're going through the motions. Maybe you have those trappings of success as far as your society looks like, but it just doesn't feel right. So maybe you've got the big job, you've got the assets, the car, the family, whatever. Maybe that pressure to have, the side hustle and be building something on the side. You're doing all the things. And even, the Instagram, TikTok version of you, people are like, ooh, I like this. Your life is great. But there's that little feeling inside you that you just can't quite shake. And so you try and numb it and distract it and avoid it as much as possible. But it's just saying there's a different part of me that isn't allowed to be seen in this environment with these people or with the surroundings that you're in. So that's information. Let's hold on to it. Number 2, you're so busy, but what does it really mean? Is a question to help you assess whether you are wasting your potential. And I hear this all the time. People are saying, I've got a people pleaser tendency. My calendar is booked up. I've got social stuff. I've got events to go to. I've got work projects. Everything is absolutely scheduled to within an inch of its life. But busy does not equate to reaching your potential or finding meaning or connection or the things that help you feel like you're reaching your potential and getting into that beautiful flow state where you're challenged just enough so that your cognitive function is moving you in the right direction, but not too much that you're completely out of your depth. So these are some of the things that help us assess if we're in that feeling of just developing our minds and our lives and being the fullest version of ourselves. So check yourself. If you are so busy and you can't fit anything in for like weeks out and months out, which is what some people's calendars look like, just this question of, hey, am I really spending the time on the things that I want to do? Or if I really sat and reflected, would I be thinking, God, I'm so busy, I'm so exhausted, but I'm not actually spending the time in what really makes me feel joy and brings me alive. Number 3, as a little warning sign about reaching your potential, you have chosen safety your whole life. I will say that again. You have chosen safety your whole life. So you have done everything right. You have gone in one direction. You have listened to the smart people that came before you, and you have done the exact steps. Maybe it's education, maybe it's the type of job, maybe it's, I'm a certain age, so I should get married, a certain age, so I should have kids, and now I'm locked into perhaps a mortgage or the rest of the thing. And hey, we all need a little bit of safety. We need some roots. We need some stability in order to feel safe enough to take some measured risks and enable us to, explore our potential in different ways. But if you have chosen safety over risk your whole life, it feels like it's paying off for a hell of a long time until you get to this magical place that we often call a midlife crisis, and things start falling apart just a little bit. And you're thinking, I did everything right. What is going on? What is happening to me? Now, these are some signs. So your life looks good on the outside, but doesn't feel quite right for you. It doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion is. Your potential is deeply personal. Number 2, you're so busy, but what does it even mean? What is the point of being so busy if you're just trying to fill up your life without the things that bring you complete meaning and connection to your soul and who you are and what you want? And number 3, you've chosen safety your whole life. For me, potential is about soul alignment. I know that sounds a little bit fluffy, but I'm not talking about success. Potential is experiencing the fullest version of who you are in this life on this planet. And, it holds the potential for failure. We're afraid of being laughed at, of not being part of the tribe, of being ostracized from what we've always known. And so we often say to ourselves in these fear places, we say, what if it goes wrong? What if it goes wrong? And that's quite a normal question, like to assess risk. but very few of us actually say, what if it went right? We flip it, right? Positive psychology is going, what if it went right? What would my life look like then? What might be possible? And just dream into the hopeful elements. And probably neither of these paths will fully come true. But actually, if our habit in a safe way is to always avoid risk, well, unfortunately, in a world of AI and change, and life will change around you, and it might mean that you will find yourself in an unsafe situation anyway. So there's the warning, right? Is that we then get to these later years in life and we start telling ourselves, well, it's too late, I can never, and we live in these sort of resentments and regrets that can really eat away at both our mental health and our physical health. So potential for you, if any of these red flags kind of resonate, it's that slow recognition. It can be really slow. For some people it's sudden, but for many of us it's slow. It's that recognition of that voice inside of you. And some of the tactics to just allow you to listen is to quiet the noise. Keep the kind of sound of everyone else's influences right down in order to think, what do I even want? And it can be a scary question, one that we don't often ask ourselves, but one that I encourage you to ask yourself. What do I want? What do I want to do in my life? And this is very different than pursue your passion and let everything go and do your own thing. Your potential aligns with your skill set, with your environment, with who you want to be and your connections and the possibilities within your life. But so often we think of our possibilities as this big, right? Like, this is where I was raised, this is what I can do. Maybe I've traveled for a year. But this is the context of what our possibilities are very much informed by our environment and our culture and the things around us. But we live in this age where we can learn from anyone, anywhere, on channels all over the place. And we can actually do the work to think about, well, what is my potential and what do I want? And again, that's not about money or success in the traditional sense. It's about a soul calling. Like, maybe your potential is to do more art or to go hiking to new places, to give back and connect with people in new ways. It can be so many things, but it's about developing yourself, challenging that flow state and allowing yourself to be outside of your comfort zone. People say this all the time, but what does that even mean? It's talking to a stranger. It's going to a class that you normally wouldn't go to. It's not about knowing the exact right path for what your potential is, but it's putting yourself in a variety of environments that can spark creativity and enable you to discover new parts of yourself, no matter how old you are, so that you can find those magical flow states and begin to reach your version of potential, which will radically help your own mental health.